Hey everyone, this is Rasco. You guys probably noticed that there is no LP for the whole week. Nintendo's a bitch again, and so is you. Nintendo and YouTube are being assholes. I did upload parts in private for fun, and they were either A, muted, or B, you could not do anything with them at all. So in order to protect my ass, I had to delete them. So hopefully next Monday, there will be a new LP up and running. If not, I apologize. But first, I'm going to what I would like to discuss a little rant. Now, I don't know how long this will be. Hopefully, not too long. I'm hoping between 15 to 20 minutes, but that's about it. So yeah, I want to throw my hat into the ring for people discussing now Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, or just simply known as Star Wars The Force Awakens. There's not even Episode 7 on the title of the box art, or anywhere. This sounds like a major prequel, like they were going to talk about the origins of the Jedi and the Force on Titan. Or Typhon, I don't remember how to properly pronounce it. I apologize again. People throughout the years of writing stories have pronounced it and written differently. Anyways, I want to talk about how this movie is what I would consider, to my opinion, the worst Star Wars movie up to date. Now, do I think it's a bad... Now, what I say worst, I mean like as in plot. If you guys seen Star Wars Episode 7 by now, you know what I'm talking about. There's criticism on YouTube like crazy, and it's... All you guys should know this. If you've seen it, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's Star Wars Episode 4 all over again. But instead of plans to find out about a major Death Star, um, it's a star map to find Luke Skywalker. So that's one thing changed, but the rest is pretty much the same, except for the one new thing in this whole movie, which is Finn's story, the Stormtrooper. The African American actor, I forgot his John Boyega, I believe his name is, um, holds the guy who holds the lightsaber on the cover. Most of the time you see in the poster art and all that. So this movie, in my opinion, when I say it's the worst, it's mostly because I didn't mind them playing it safe. You know, after the prequels, a lot of people were like, okay, they have to play it safe. They did play it safe. I like the idea of them playing safe. The problem is they played it way too safe. As in, they practically copy paste episode 4. And this is completely and utterly, wrong in my opinion. Yeah, okay, you can take ideas from some of the other movies. No problem with that. But this was way too safe. Now, that's my opinion on the plot. It's way too safe and it's boring. Now, I'm going to go into the characters, and this is where my real gripe begins. Finn is not so bad, the Stormtrooper, and he is not so bad. I understand, but I wish they would have done more with his backstory. We hear that he was taken as a child from his family and practically brainwashed into this cult. But yet he sees one Stormtrooper die and he decides to do a change of heart. Literally, it's like, the fuck? If you would have shown him, this is what they should have done, is that they should have focused on Finn and Rey, the next character I'm going to talk about, their backstory of their lives a bit more, and growing up on this, in their cult, in their way they've done this, in their culture, I should say, or on their situation in life, how they grew up, and then start the movie, like into the action scenes and all that. Just introduce the characters, introduce the enemies, and give us a bit of a backstory, but give the backstory to these two main characters. Because I feel that if they would have done something a lot better like that, showing Finn growing up and having doubts about the First Order completely ever since he was a kid, then his change to the rebels, or the resistance as they're called in this, yeah, there's no major difference, I know. Um, it would have been much better, in my opinion. Now, that's Finn mostly. The only gripe I have is that, like I said, he changed way too fast, and it's like, okay, That's bad for me. And it's really boring. Like, you just saw this guy probably have a chance to murder people, and he sees one stormtrooper get killed, and then he has a change of heart. Next up, we have Rey. Oh, God. Okay, I will agree with the internet on this one. Rey is a Mary Sue character. For those who don't know what a Mary Sue character, the male equivalent is called a Gary Stu. So I'm going to get that out right away. A Mary Sue or Gary Stu is when a character is God mode. A fan fiction. It's literally fan fiction. Now, if I can find the article again, I'll link it in the description. I'll put it in the description. Disney blatantly came out and said, "Oh, we purposely designed this character to be like this." You purposely designed your character, written your character to be a god. That's bad writing. Even someone who's never taken a single writing class in their life, that is bad writing. Like, you know this is bad because you're just inserting your own perspective and your own ideals into the story, which is destroying the mythos in itself. People harp on the prequels for being bad. I harp on the prequels for being bad because of George Lucas's writing and directing. Nothing more. The actors did a great job with what they could. The CG at the time was magnificent. And, okay, if you watch the Blu-ray Star Wars Episode 1, yeah, the CG pops like freaking crazy now. But, you know, Episode 3 still looks decent. And, you know, he added something to the mythos. He added a backstory itself to the mythos with the prequels. You know, we knew where it was going. We all knew this. It's just he now showed off that there is a galactic government. There is corruption constantly. It's our real world, but on a grander scale. That I can respect. What I did, like I said though, what I didn't like is the directing and writing. You guys all know, like, horrible lines like in episode 2 and all this. But Rey being purposely written like this doesn't make her a character. This just makes her a god. Just makes her boring. You know? So a Mary Sue, Gary Stu, their criteria is that they're excellently good at things that other characters are more experienced at. Example, she says she's never flown. If you listen between her and Finn banter after they escape from Jakku, she goes, "Oh, I've never flown. I've never left the planet even." It's like, then how the fuck did you fly the Millennium Falcon? As if though you were flying it like you've been piloting it for half your life. You know, you've done an amazing feat. Some of it is bullshit. I will admit that. She's stronger than Kylo Ren, the Dark Jedi in this, in the Force, which is utter bullshit. A trained Jedi should have easy time going up against a non-trained Force sensitive and a non-trained Force sensitive and a non-Force sensitive person who is trained maybe in melee combat. He should have these battles won in about like 2 minutes at most, but we're gonna get to that later. She has she says she's repaired the Falcon before because of the guy who stole it from the other guy who stole it from Han Solo. And okay, fine, but what section of the ship did you repair? That doesn't make sense. She also understands the binary language of droids. In the universe, to my knowledge, Luke Skywalker can understand R2 when he's not around a computer to a certain degree. 3PO, obviously, because he is a protocol droid. And the only other character I know that understood the binary language of droids perfectly is Kyle Katarn and the Jedi Exile. And that's saying a lot. Kyle Katarn is no longer in the universe, and we're not too sure about the Exile anymore. She's part of the canon. Like, this is bizarre. Like, okay, fine, but you say you're a scavenger, but we don't see you repairing droids. We don't see you repairing these. Scavenging just means you're cleaning up and cleaning up the parts to sell in order to get food or things like this. And that's one thing I don't like. It's like, how does she understand BB-8? Like, technically every astromech droid has a different, although their binary language is the same, due to their fluctuations in their beeps and boosts, it can mean something different. I just say beeps and boosts to give an idea because of R2. Um, you know, and really, Rey is the biggest flaw in this. So she's unexpectedly better than Han at piloting the Falcon. She can repair it better than Han. She's stronger in the Force than Kylo, even though he's been trained by Luke and other, and he's this. I'm gonna spoil that right away. And it doesn't make sense. And when you say it's purposely written like this, I hate that. That is bad. And if you guys want a good detail, again, I'll link another video in the description. They explain it much better than me on how they do it. Now, in episode 7, Rey is a Mary Sue. If in her backstory in episode 8, which is a cop-out, by the way, that's a major cop-out right there. You have to watch episode 8 to get more on backstory of Rey. If they explained that Rey may have had some Jedi training, but it was blocked somehow, and due to Kylo Ren probing her mind at one point, it unlocked it, I'll allow that to somewhat slide, but it's still putting my this is not putting my suspension of disbelief to the side. It's still going to be criticism. Next up, we have the major villain, Kylo Ren. Kylo, in my opinion, is one of those characters that was... Some people say he's a better Anakin, but he's more of a whiny kind of better Anakin. And I don't blame him because, spoiler warning, he is the son of Leia and Han. Now, the one gripe I did not like is that they called him Ben Solo. Yes, so the old man that Han Solo met, Ben Kenobi, who he knew maybe... What? Let's give it real time here. In the movie, you knew him for about maybe 10, 15 minutes. In reality, you probably knew him for about, let's say, hyperspace and all this. Let's say 2 hours, okay? At most, in reality, 2 hours. They decide to call him Ben Solo, which doesn't make sense. Because he never knew Obi-Wan well like Luke. And Leia barely knew about Obi-Wan. So... congratulations, you just... this whole movie also is fan service. And it's not even good fan service. That's the problem here. Yeah, I just said it. It's not even good fan service. I've seen better fan service and fan fictions. And some of these Star Wars games, even. Like, holy shit there, Disney and Abram. You just screwed up royally. What else? The good things about this movie, though, I have to admit, is the practical effects, which is nice. The CG animation is very good, too. And this movie does look good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it does look very, very good. Like, and even the CG characters, sometimes they can be CG'd, still look somewhat enough realistic due to the fact that, it's one of those, it's there, but you could see them moving physical objects. So it's like how Andy Serkis acted as Gollum. He was there physically touching everything, but then they animated Gollum into a CG character. The actress, for example, for Maz Kanaz had to do the exact same thing. So she acted along with the actors, but then she was changed into this CG character, which, again... Okay, so that's all the positive I could think of. Everything else is copy-paste from episode 4. Another gripe I have is that we do get introduced to Leia, Luke, and Han. Han is about halfway into the movie. Spoiler warning, he dies. If you haven't seen the movie by now, ladies and gents, you've heard of this at least. Leia's in it for like 5 minutes, and here's another gripe. Why is she not a Jedi? She was another Skywalker. Why didn't Luke train her? Even the Legends universes, which now they call it the expanded universe, which became the Legends universe. Every freaking person who's written a Star Wars story has stated that Leia has some Jedi training. Yeah, it's not Luke's Jedi training, flip, kick, push, pull, and blow something up with the Force, kind of. I'm exaggerating right there, but she does have her ability to... the Jedi mind trick, the force pull, push, the basic Jedi stuff, and she does carry a lightsaber, just in case. But she, again, like Luke, she'll use a blaster if need be. She feels safer with a blaster because that's she's used her entire life, and I don't blame her. This is what pissed me off again. Why isn't she even partially a Jedi? She could, even if you wanted to, Abram, and Disney, you guys could have just, not have her dressed as a Jedi, but you could have had a blaster in a case on her leg or on her hip or on something. But there should have been an extra case attached to it with a lightsaber inside. Even though she's not going to be doing what Luke does, she's still always carried a lightsaber. And I know that they're saying that, oh, the expanded universe no longer exists. This is official canon for us now. It still pissed off a lot of fans. And even I hear people say, like, she could have just at least had a lightsaber. At least show her that Luke did train her. Now, for what I was talking about, Kylo should have easily kicked the ass of Rey and Finn. At the end of the movie, we have our mandatory lightsaber battle. Kylo goes up against both Finn and Rey. Now, for Finn, I can understand him lasting a bit because he was a stormtrooper and probably was trained in melee combat. But he never used a lightsaber, so this should have been a one-sided fight for Kylo. He should have been toying with Finn and then knocked him out or, badly wound him. And again, against Rey, yeah, she's a Force user, and he probably didn't want to kill her because he did want to turn her to the dark side. But this should have been a one-sided fight. It should have been Count Dooku versus Anakin all over again. Or, even though Kylo Ren says that he's not the best lightsaber duelist and he's not fully trained, this should have still been a one-sided fight because he has more experience than her. This is where I really, really went to the movie and went, okay, no. Putting my suspension of disbelief aside for an 80-year-old man versus a 6-foot man in a black suit, all black suit who can barely see 2 feet in front of him, that lightsaber duel, fine, I'll buy it. Even the duel in episode 5 and 6 were better than this. And it made more sense. Ugh. But Jesus Christ, this should have been a one-sided fight. No, seriously, this should have been a one-sided fight. And again, the last gripe I have, Starkiller Base. Now, for those who don't know, Starkiller was meant to be the original name of the Skywalker family. But Lucas decided to change it at the last minute. I think that's what it was, or he just decided to call it something else because he didn't think that Starkiller would be like the good thing to do. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't checked about why he changed it. The one thing I hated is that this thing is a Death Star the size of a fucking planet. It sucks up a sun to fire off its laser. Scientifically speaking, I fucking groaned. Because if you are sucking up your sun, you're fucking up the planet's gravitation, and you're fucking up the planet's ecosystem with that. And after you drain the sun, how do you fucking use it? Does the planet have a thrust system? Can you move through hyperspace with it? You didn't give us details. We believed the Death Star could move because it said it was the size of a moon, and you did demonstrate that it could move by having it turn. It does go into hyperspace, a slower speed of hyperspace than you say a fighter craft or a star destroyer or anything like that, but it still can travel through hyperspace. And this is that is the biggest gripe I have, is that they built another star destroyer, a Death Star, and they exploded at the end of the movie. You see, if we would have learned that, at the end of the movie, they would have done something else. And how is the base coming? They said something like that. And, oh, it's coming fine, my lord. It should be fully operational in approximately a year. In approximately 6 months. And you're like, what the fuck are they talking about? Did they build another Death Star? Not kill it in the second movie, but in the last movie. We learned that this thing's operational. And then we go destroy it. That would have been much better, in my opinion. Now, for fun in my head, I did rewrite this whole movie for fun. Took out the Starkiller Base and rewrote it for fun. If you guys want to actually hear me talk about it, leave a comment in the section in the comments below. I did rewrite it. I'll have to find it. I hope I didn't throw it out. I doubt I did. but I did rewrite it just for fun and shits and giggles. Now, this would probably be an hour-long podcast kind of thing, and hopefully I can find it. And if you guys really want to hear it, tell me. And hopefully Monday I do have something for you guys. If not, I apologize. I'm going to try and get my LPs up and running. But I am kind of in a rush for this month, and there's a reason, and you'll find that reason out in the next video. So hope you guys liked it. Leave a comment. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe. Thank you. Have a good day or night, and see you next time, ladies and gents.